I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Operation Fast and Furious. According to Wikipedia, quote, on October 26, 2009, a teleconference was held at the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C., to discuss U.S. strategy for combating Mexican drug cartels. Participating in the meeting were Deputy Attorney General David W. Ogden, Assistant Attorney General Lanny A. Brewer, Acting ATF Director Kenneth E. Melson, Drug Enforcement Administration Administrator Michelle Leonard, Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation Robert Mueller, and the top federal prosecutors in the southwestern border states. They decided on a strategy to identify and eliminate entire arms trafficking networks rather than low-level buyers. Those at the meeting apparently did not suggest using the gun-walking tactic, but Phoenix ATF supervisors would soon use it in an attempt to achieve the desired goals. The strategy of targeting high-level individuals, which was already ATF policy, would be implemented by Bill Newell, Special Agent in charge of ATF's Phoenix Field Division. In order to accomplish it, the officer decided to monitor suspicious firearm purchases which federal prosecutor Emery Hurley claimed lacked sufficient evidence for prosecution as laid out in a January 2010 briefing paper. This was said to be allowed under ATF regulations and given legal backing by U.S. Attorney for the District of Arizona, Dennis K. Burke. It was additionally approved and funded by a Justice Department task force. However, long-standing DOJ and ATF policy has required suspected illegal arms shipments to be intercepted. The operation began on October 31, 2009, when a local gun store reported to the Phoenix ATF that 4 individuals had purchased multiple AK-47 style rifles. In November 2009, the Phoenix office's Group 7, which would be the lead investigative group in Fast and Furious, began to follow a prolific gun trafficker. He had bought 34 arms in 24 days, and he and his associates bought 212 more in the next month. The case soon grew to over 24 straw purchasers, the most prolific of which would ultimately buy more than 600 weapons. The effort would come to be called Operation Fast and Furious for the successful film franchise, because some of the suspects under investigation operated out of an auto repair store and street raced. Under the previous operation-wide receiver, there had been a formal ATF contract with the cooperating gun dealer, and efforts were made to involve the ATF Mexico City office and Mexican law enforcement. Under Operation Fast and Furious, at Newell's insistence, the cooperating gun dealers did not have contracts with the ATF, and MCO and Mexican police were left in the dark. According to internal ATF documents, the operation was initially run in conjunction with the Phoenix DEA, Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. On January 26, 2010, ATF formally applied to the Justice Department in Washington for funding through the OCDETF program. When it won approval and received additional funding, Operation Fast and Furious was reorganized as a strike force that included agents from the ATF, FBI, DEA, and the ICE component of the Department of Homeland Security, which would later be run through the U.S. Attorney's Office rather than the ATF. This new strike force designation allowed the operation to take advantage of sophisticated surveillance techniques, such as federal wiretaps, which would require court orders and interaction from the Justice Department officials in Washington, D.C., since federal law requires certain individuals to review evidence and certify the necessity of such techniques. The dealers involved became concerned as months went by and the same individuals they reported to the ATF as suspected straw purchasers returned and repeatedly bought identical weapons. As they later told the DOJ OIG, their previous experience was that after they reported a suspected straw to ATF, they did not see the straw again unless subpoenaed to testify against the straw at trial. One cooperating dealer expressed his concern in a series of emails in April and June 2010 to GS David Voth, who assured the dealer that ATF was monitoring the suspects, using a variety of techniques that he would not discuss in detail. The tactic of letting guns walk rather than interdicting them and arresting the buyers led to controversy within the ATF. As the case continued, several members of Group 7, including John Dodson and Olinda Casa, became increasingly upset at the tactic of allowing guns to walk. Their standard Project Gunrunner training was to follow the straw purchasers to the handoff to the cartel buyers, then arrest both parties and seize the guns. But according to Dodson, they watched the guns being bought illegally and stashed on a daily basis, while their supervisors, including David Voth and Hope McAllister, prevented the agents from intervening. However, other accounts of the operation insist that ATF agents were prevented from intervening not by ATF officials, but rather by federal prosecutor Emery Hurley, who stated agents did not have sufficient evidence to arrest suspected straw buyers. According to some reports, many agents insisted they were prevented from making arrests because prosecutors were unwilling to engage in what could become a potentially contentious political battle over Second Amendment rights during an election year, particularly given the difficult nature of prosecuting straw buyers and the weak penalties associated with it, even if successful. Instead, Prosecutor Hurley instructed ATF agents not to make arrests, but rather continue collecting evidence in order to build a stronger case. One tactic proposed for doing so was a wiretap of suspected straw buyers, in an attempt to link the suspects to criminal activities taking place on the Mexican side of the border. Between March 20th and July 30th, 2010, 9 wiretaps were sought and approved by Justice Department officials, resulting in a significant delay in concluding the case. One of the central targeted individuals was Manuel Fabian Celis Acosta. By December 2009, Celis Acosta was being investigated by the ATF, which had placed a secret poll camera outside of his Phoenix home to track his movement. Around this time, apparently by chance, ATF agents discovered Celis Acosta was also a potential criminal target of the DEA, which was operating a wire room to monitor live wiretaps in order to track him. On April 2, 2010, Celis Acosta was arrested on possession of cocaine and found in possession of a weapon purchased by Uriel Patino, who had already purchased at least 434 guns from cooperating gun dealers in the Phoenix area. By this time, about a dozen ATF agents regularly surveilled Celis Acosta as he recruited 20 friends and family to buy guns for him and regularly traveled to Texas to obtain funds from cartel associates to purchase firearms. On May 29, 2010, Celis Acosta was detained in Lukeville, Arizona, with 74 rounds of ammunition and 9 cell phones. He was then released by the chief ATF investigator on Fast and Furious, Hope McAllister, after he promised to cooperate with her to find 2 specific Sinaloa cartel associates. After the redetention and arrest of Celis Acosta in February 2011, the ATF learned that the associates they were after were FBI DEA paid informants, and one of them was Celis Acosta's financier. Since they were informants, they were unindictable under Operation Fast and Furious. Later, the DOJ Inspector General concluded, quote, "We did not find persuasive evidence that agents sought to seize firearms and make arrests during the investigative stage of the case and were rebuffed by the prosecutor. We found that the lack of seizures and arrests was primarily attributable to the pursuit of a strategic goal shared by the Phoenix ATF and the U.S. Attorney's Office to eliminate a trafficking organization, and the belief that confronting subjects and seizing firearms could compromise that goal." End quote. By June 2010, suspects had purchased 1,608 firearms at a cost of over $1 million at Phoenix area gun shops. At that time, the ATF was also aware of 179 of those weapons being found at crime scenes in Mexico and 130 in the United States. As guns traced to Fast and Furious began turning up at violent crime scenes in Mexico, ATF agents stationed there also voiced opposition. On the evening of December 14, 2010, U.S. Border Patrol agent Brian Terry and others were patrolling Peck Canyon, Santa Cruz County, Arizona, 11 miles from the Mexican border. The group came across 5 suspected illegal immigrants. When they fired non-lethal beanbag guns, the suspects responded with their own weapons, leading to a firefight. Terry was shot and killed. 4 of the suspects were arrested, and 2 AK pattern rifles were found nearby. The Attorney General's office was immediately notified of the shooting incident by email. The rifles were traced within hours of the shooting to a Phoenix store involved in the Fast and Furious operation, but the bullet that killed Terry was too badly damaged to be conclusively linked to either gun. Acting Deputy Attorney General Gary Grindler and Deputy Chief of Staff Monty Wilkinson were informed about the guns, but they didn't believe the information was sufficiently important to alert the Attorney General about it or to make any further inquiry regarding the development. After hearing of the incident, Dodson contacted ATF headquarters, ATF's Chief Counsel, and ATF Ethics Section, and the Justice Department's Office of the Inspector General, none of whom immediately responded. He and other agents then contacted Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, who would become a major figure in the investigation of gunwalking. At the same time, information began leaking to various bloggers and websites. On January 25, 2011, Burke announced the final details of the case to become officially public, marking the end of Operation Fast and Furious. At a news conference in Phoenix, he reported a 53-count indictment of 20 suspects for buying hundreds of guns intended for illegal export between September 2009 and December 2010. Newell, who was at the conference, called Fast and Furious a, quote, phenomenal case, while denying that guns had been deliberately allowed to walk into Mexico. Altogether, about 2,000 firearms were bought by straw purchasers during Fast and Furious. These include AK-47 variants, Barrett 50 BMG caliber sniper rifles, 38 caliber revolvers, and FN-57s. As of October 20, 2011, 389 had been recovered in the U.S., and 276 in Mexico. The rest remained on the streets unaccounted for. As of February 2012, the total number of recovered firearms was 710. Most of the guns went to the Sinaloa cartel, while others made their way to El Teo and La Familia. Although most weapons were purchased by suspects under investigation by the program, there have been reports of at least one instance of ATF agents being directly involved in the transfer of weapons. On April 13, 2010, ATF agent John Dodson, with assistance from agents Casa and Alt, directed a cooperating straw purchaser to give 3 guns to Isaiah Fernandez, a suspected gun trafficker, and had taped the conversations without prosecutor approval. After being instructed by his superiors to obtain approval from prosecutors, albeit retroactively, Dodson's proposal was later rejected by his immediate superior, David Voth, although he later received permissions from Voth's supervisor after submitting a written proposal for the program. On June 1, 2010, Dodson used $2,500 of ATF funds to purchase 6 AK Draco pistols from local gun dealers, which he then gave to Mr. Fernandez, who reimbursed him for the expense of the guns plus $700 for his assistance. 2 days later, Agent Dodson went on a scheduled vacation without interdicting the weapons. As a result, the weapons were never recovered, no arrests were ever made, and the case was closed out without charges being filed. According to the DOJ OIG report, Agent Dodson, as the undercover posing as a straw buyer, was not expected to surveil the weapons after handoff to Fernandez. Other ATF agents followed the weapons to a storage facility, then surveillance was terminated without interdiction. The Fernandez case was dropped from Fast and Furious after it was determined that Fernandez was not connected to Mexican cartels and had ceased buying guns for resale.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with, now they looking nervously. And I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
Coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.